Good afternoon from a very windy Kansas. I've got my hands over the mic as best as possible to block the wind, but back on the river today. It's been a couple months because it was really cold, and so I'm excited to be out. It's about 80 degrees right now, but the wind is like 20-30 miles an hour in gusts, so still a little bit chilly. But hopefully we'll find some agates and other cool rocks. Probably find lots of little tiny ones. We'll find some nice big ones and some specimens. So follow along. Thanks for watching. Here's our first little guy. Not too big. Nice and white. So stuff like that's what we're looking for. They come in blues, reds, white, and all sorts of other colors. It's a nice day. You also get these little chalcedony nodules. Some people call them honey agates. I usually just call them honey agates. A nice glow a little bit in that light. A little yellow jasper nodule. Very yellow, mustard colored. They look like little gray brains sometimes. This one's got a little bit of red in it. And blue. See a little bit of banding there. I'm in a spot that has a little bit smaller rocks, so I'm trying to head somewhere that has bigger rocks. But it wouldn't be a good agate hunt video without a river crossing, so I'm gonna go cross a river. And it's quite low today compared to last time. So if you go back in some of my older videos, or my more recent videos from the end of last year, there's one with a thumbnail of me in the water up to my chest, and that's right where I'm crossing. It's the same spot. So it was up at one point almost up to my neck, and now it'll probably be, hopefully, barely up to my knees. And I came prepared with my winter shoes, so I'll just pop those off and then keep my feet somewhat dry once I get back out. And I was smart and I brought some pants for after I get across the river. It's like an algae bloom. It hurts. Almost feels like it's below freezing water. Whew, okay. I'll give my feet some chance to dry off here and then put my socks back on. Let's go on a walk. Deer tracks. It's cold, see? Uh-oh, I have to get back in the water. Yeah. Sorry, little guy. this little roadway is almost always puddled up. I think it's getting lower as it's washing out. The river is reclaiming it. So the section we're going to is one of my favorites to go to. It was one of the first places I found and had really good agates, but recently we got some really heavy rains and some, as you saw in that one video, the really high water washed over the area, and then the snow came and snowed on it, and then more rain came and rained on it. So hopefully there'll be completely new rocks everywhere, and there's deer tracks everywhere, goodness. And hopefully they'll be nice and washed off as well. So that's what I'm hoping for. Let me get my... Ew. Okay, so it's along this whole bank here. Even up there, there's some nice gravels, and then all along this bank is nice gravels. And then the river is right there, and it's just beautiful. I love hanging out here. Found 3 right there in that tiny little patch. Let's go rinse them off and take a peek at them. So this one, it's got some really bright contrasting bands. And I just dropped one. I see it. This one was kind of ugly looking, but then I noticed some banding on it as well. I'm not sure what that is exactly. And then this little guy here, just a little guy. But I like looking on these little ones, these little gravel bars like this, because they just wash up, you know, and it hasn't been sitting there long, so it's always new gravels coming in. Here's this jasper. Usually it's just yellow, sometimes it's got reds in it as well. I usually just keep the ones that have reds as well because they're a little better looking than just the plain mustard colored ones. I can hear cows over that field, and I can smell manure on the wind. It's pretty nice. Some nice little yellow banding details in there. Alright, buried right here is either a ghost agate or just a piece of quartz. It's hard to tell until you unbury it. And I'm thinking it is... Let me get a closer look. I think it's just quartz. Oh well. Nice little honey nodule, or shard almost. You can see the way it glows. And there's a shiny rock. Sometimes when you're out looking, the best way to just figure out what's in your area is to pick up shiny rocks and look close at them. Because shiny rocks generally like this guy, are harder, and the more precious stones and stuff are generally made up of harder materials than the other stuff. So you get to find out kind of what the harder minerals are in your area just by looking for shiny stuff. More stuff that glows. Not that. Found something a little more along the lines of what we're looking for here. Something a little bit bigger. Full agate nodule. Nice and blue. Nice. Okay, I'm about 3 feet from the last one I just found. And that, oh yeah, this one's got red in it. Get some better lighting. Reds, blue, gray, mostly gray really actually. But I love those reds on there. This is an entire nodule. Sweet. Right next to the other one too. This one is glowing. Not too bad. Make sure you actually saw it. See how glowing it is. That's a verb. Nice. Little yellow, very yellow jasper and a little agate. And the little one. And then I wasn't convinced at first about this guy, but then this side has some reds in it. It's just it was so flat colored on the outside, but I think there might be some chalcedony mixed in here or something. But it's pretty neat. Once that would get polished, that'd be a nice looking stone. Yeah, here's a nice one. Nice banding. Okay, this one was like almost really cool, but then also really ugly. I already got it wet, that's why it's so shiny. But it's definitely got some see-throughness to it. It's a chalcedony of some sort, maybe like a moss agate or something. It's too bad the colors are so brown and white mixed. Unfortunately, it's time for another river crossing. And this one's wide. And just to show you how cold it is. The water, at least. The air it's like 48 Fahrenheit. So, but the water is cold. And these ones used to be right here. Every time I come to the river here, I think, man, how cool would it be to find an arrowhead? And I've only ever found 3 here, but it's always nice anyways to get out and find these agates and just to be outside on a nice weekend. So still it'd be cool to find an arrowhead. You never know what'll pop up. Maybe we'll find one today. Maybe not. My dad just had his hip replaced. I think I found his old one. Or maybe it's a new one for his other hip. Here it is. If you're sitting there and you're thinking, what is an agate? Why is he out there looking for these? Basically, an agate is it's chalcedony, which is a gem version of silica, which is what quartz and most other quartz-like rocks are made out of. But it forms in volcanoes. So what happens is, as there's water flowing through all the tubes and whatever that volcanoes form, it leaves mineral deposits behind, like the chalcedony mineral deposits. And as it leaves those minerals behind and the water dries out or whatever, it leaves layers of the minerals. So it leaves these bands, which is why I talk about bands a lot. And how do we get the one? Yeah, anyway, it leaves the bands behind, the water goes out and it forms these nodules because it's filling in air bubbles basically in what the lava or whatever other molten rock left behind, the gas bubbles. So it's pretty neat. But how they got here, either there's two ways they got here. Some of these are called Rocky Mountain agates, or they call them rosebud agates because of the way they look. But they flowed down the river from the Rocky Mountains, and the other way they came, they're called LSAs, Lake Superior agates, because they came through glacial movement or flood movement down from up north and brought all the way down here. And they're quite small by the time they get here because that's a lot of movement and a lot of crushing and grinding and all this stuff. And the gravel deposits we have just really aren't that big. So yeah, that's where the prevailing ideology on where they come from is. That's an interesting rock. And yeah, so, but if you go farther south, the agates get larger again. So you never know, maybe they just come up from the earth, because we do have hot springs here. So it is possible they just pop out of the ground from anywhere. So you never really know, but that's the main thinking of where they come from and what they are. And they're pretty. Speaking of white, ugly agates. Ooh, that one's got some nice banding on it right there, actually, though. It's possible could carve something nice out of that. This yellowish stuff is like sandy mix, so it makes it kind of hard to really give it a good polish, but that white end is pretty nice. Focus. Okay, I have no idea what this is, other than it's a mini boomerang. Kind of odd. Yeah. There's the color I'm hoping to see in some of these. That dark blue with the reds all around it. Sorry, I have to turn the camera every time because the lighting just isn't as good. Look at those reds and the blues. That is pretty nice. Nice solid ghost agate, almost. A little shine. Very nice. I believe this is coal, like natural coal. Pretty cool. Go over to a new spot. Found this sweet little, I don't know what you call it. If it's chalcedony or what, but it's nice and cool. Just leave it open, it's not going to get back. Yeah. see if there's different gravel deposits. Sometimes, especially when you're looking for like arrowheads, it can be better to look at deposits like this because it's easier to see an arrowhead when it's surrounded by sand and small rocks than it is when it's surrounded by other large rocks. They stick out easier. Okay, I just found one of the most beautiful agates I've ever found here. But first, let me show you the other 3 things I found. So there's this bird body, piece of ceramic, something kind of interesting. And then had a nice little nodule. And then a small one with some nice color on it. But get ready for this. Okay, I was talking about missing colors. Check out this guy. Look at the reds in there. And that thing is sweet. It is solid all the way through. Got that amazing red banding on the side. And I love it. Nice. I was just sitting here, notice this guy. Kind of ugly. Not even sure that's an agate actually, never mind. Clearly I found a nice section here. There's tons of red ones. Check out this one in here. Can you see it in the middle there? I haven't even unburied it yet. Oh, baby. I love these blue and red ones. Oh, it's nice and dark with the red contrasting it. That is sweet. On top of that, found these guys, which mostly each of them have some reds on them as well, and some sweet banding. But I mean, this kind is hard to top. I'm about 5 feet from that really sweet one I just found too. So that's 2 really good looking rocks within about 5 feet of each other. Wow. Here's the rest from that section. Look how dark these are with the beautiful reds on them. And then beautiful banding. And then this green one, it's not an agate, but some sort of weird green rock. And the reason I've stopped, check out the middle of the screen right there. A beautiful banded ghost agate. By contrast to a piece of quartz, you can see how much brighter it is. And this does look like it's been beat up a bit, but it is a ghost agate. I love finding these. All right, y'all, it's time for me to head home. If you've made it all the way through this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. One of the things that helps the channel the most is watch hours. So the longer you watch, I know the better it is for me. I mean, even if you left it on just playing in the background, that's good for the channel. So I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys watching. Obviously I'll have my eyes on the ground on the way back. So I'll show you any rocks I get when I get there. I'll keep them separate. But thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.
I'm back at the car. Here's all the ones I found on the way back. There's some winners in here. There's a nice bleached one. Looks interesting. There's a honey agate. That's pretty sweet. And then just a bunch of other stuff. So that's it. Goodbye.